our tech ideation series. This is the ideation process 2. We had the first ideation process. Those of you who've been following very well, you remember we had that ideation session, and it was a follow-up of our field research session, which we still had earlier this semester. So in this session, we're going to gain more details about how you can tackle some of those problems you identified in the field. How can you come up with an innovative solution when you're using AI to solve some of those challenges? How do you make a robust business model, and things like that are going to be shared during this session. So I encourage all of you to participate actively. If you have, of course, you should have questions. You will have a session when our session lead for today is done presenting. You will be able to ask questions for clarifications where you have not gotten some things. So let's try to be very attentive and the best that we can get from this session. Then the speaker mentioned about it. The attendance today will be done online. We've shared the link in the group, but it will be activated later on. We shall tell you. Then that's how we shall take attendance for today. So please endeavor to take attendance, because I don't have to explain much about the importance of taking attendance. You know, there are some opportunities which always come up, and we need to check people who've been active members, and we look through our databases and we see people in these sessions when we've been having them. So when the link is group, so that you can know how you can be added to the group. Otherwise, I wish you a nice event. Participate actively so that you can gain the best out of this. As the technical team is preparing the presentation, maybe another thing that I can encourage you to do is to use your social media, of course, to post when this session is done. Post what you've learned from this session. Of course, you can't fail to learn something. You post there, then you make necessary tags. You can tag the club, tag IndabaX Uganda, because there will be that conference in July where you will have a chance to attend that conference. And if you keep posting and you're tagging them, they may consider some of the things like that to invite you to attend that conference. So after this session, I encourage you to use your social media well by posting there something you've learned, and always engaging on our posts there. Then next week we shall have another session still. Every week we always have sessions here for new members. So next week we shall have a session whereby we shall be doing more of getting knowledge with regards to coming up with a prototype, because if you've been following our sessions critically, they have been progressive sessions to guide you. Then before you can implement whatever solution you have. So if you've attended all these sessions, then you still need to attend next week's session, so that you know how you're supposed to do with regards to coming up with a prototype. So watch out for that event also. Then the week after next week, we shall be having an introduction to computer vision. We shall be having that session. We shall share more details about that event. So stay tuned for that one also. So I think the technical team is set up. At this juncture, allow me to welcome our patron, Mr. Mabilizi Vincent, to come and take us through. You're welcome, Mr. Vincent.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me hope we are doing well. I'm also privileged to be given a chance by these people to come and share the I know about ideation and the grant writing. The focus may not particularly be on how to come up with an idea, but if you agree with me, we still have a big challenge when it comes to job creation. I mean, actually, job creation. We have a few job opportunities outside there, and it's always a big question. I think at first year and second years we not sound as something big, but if you ask the third years, second semester, I think every day what comes around their minds is what next after June, right? After June, what next? And the same question, people who left early, late December last year, I think it was like 3 months back, right? They are also still asking the same question. They are still asking the same question. So that question, of course, will always be there, and we may not have an answer, a direct answer to that question. But I believe we can use our innovativeness to find what next after here. I think everyone knows me, right? Is there anyone who doesn't know me? Yeah? Everyone knows me, right? Okay. I'll just say a little about me. I used to work with the Faculty of Computing. I think that was 2021 and 2022, but later I was shifted to some other position. That's my name. I'm a student like you, but not here, somewhere else. Sorry, let me first turn on. So let me first turn off the phone. I'm saying that I'm also a student like you, somewhere. That's my email, the university. That's my contact number. My passion is research, and my focus is on AI for healthcare. I mainly focus on medical image analysis. I do a lot of image processing for the research that I've done. That is for the past 3 years, I think. That's where I always do my research, and that's my research interest. I was still explaining to you about the question of what next after. I found a shoulder in research that was starting from 2019. I finished my bachelor's in 2018. It was around June. That's when I did my final exams, like these people are going to do. Then the same year in July, I applied for master's before I received my results for bachelor's. I was given a conditional admission to study the master's as I wait for my results. Then the same year in October, I graduated. But of course, I was unemployed youth by then, right? So I scratched my head. What can I do? Because I was like you. In most cases, when you're done with school, you have a mattress. This a 3x6 bed, right? A bucket, and some few things, right? Of which, if you sell them, you can't even get 1 million. So I was also in that situation. So that same year in June, I got a chance to be introduced to how to write research proposals for funding. I drafted one. That was 2018 June. That's when there was a call from Ministry of ICT. There's a program called this. So I applied jokingly. I think that kick-started my journey with, as far as grants writing is concerned. In June 2019, of course, I won my first grant. I think since then I've never been the same. Life has been improving day by day. That was 100 mark. Then, of course, that one gave me interest. Then 2022, when I just joined the KAB, I collaborated with some colleagues in Faculty of Computing and some students. I got 119. Then the same year, I wrote another grant. That was for my master's research. I did my research at master's was I developed machine learning models for detecting sickle cells in overlapping red blood cells. So I published some work, then I wrote a grant. They gave me some money, 20 millions, to wrap my those models in the mobile application. So it's what I'm doing currently. I hope it will be out soon, if all goes well. Then last year, in June, I wrote another proposal here, trying to come up with a web system that can help students to assess lecturers. We always have those issues. So and so doesn't teach us. So and so is rude, and sometimes students find it hard to report those cases. So I proposed some system which can anonymously assist students to report such instances to the quality assurance. So the university gave me 65M, and the project is still ongoing. It's supposed to end in June. So after that one, I don't know what comes next, but I'm trying to write another proposal because that's why I find cost of living. So that's the little experience I have. Of course, it doesn't mean that every proposal I write, they accept it. I think I've written like 50 proposals. So majority are trashed, right? But when they trash them, of course, you learn from those mistakes. Then you improve. So today, why I had to display this, I wanted you to know, like to at least appreciate that the little knowledge I have. In each of these projects, I've been spearheading the proposal. There are those other proposals where, there are other research where I'm part, but they are not I'm not the key on those proposals. I'm just a member who gets some commission of like developing something like that. But these ones, I am either API or co-PI. So today we are going to look at these key points. They were listed by your president, that I should talk about how to identify research ideas for grant application. Of course, not every idea is worth funding, okay? Then how do we distinguish between researchable idea from non-researchable idea, then a business model, then finally team information, how we come up with the team. They had also included a pitch deck, but because of time, I may not manage to do that. So I'll be fast as I go through this, where I just will display some examples of the proposals that I've worked on previously. Now, when it comes to identifying the research idea, I think this one is, if we leave out the grant thing, even final project is a very big issue, right? People propose systems, they trash them. They write also they trash them. I believe even now we still have some third years who are still struggling with their proposals, right? They always really find it hard. But now the focus will be on identifying ideas that can attract money. Not every idea can attract cash. Some ideas they are worth being pioneer projects, but when they can't attract funding. Maybe one of the key items I can say before even going through this, a research idea that can attract funding, it must have a business component. How you're going to earn money. For example, if I use an example of one of the previous grants I've won, if you go to Presto, you can search an app called Inventory. I think it has around 500 downloads plus. This first grant that I got, it was to develop a ticketing mobile application that can assist these events organizers to schedule events, sell tickets for their events. It's on Play Store. So we get some money from there, some commission. For every ticket they buy through our app, of course, we get some funding. So that app is on Play Store. It has been there for some good time. So, one, before you come up with a such idea, first understand what is the call all about. People who have seen some funding opportunities, if they want a proposal in agriculture, why do you write a proposal in health? First understand what is the mission, the goal, and the priority of the funding agent. For example, the university has some funding scheme. I don't know if you people are aware of that. Directorate of Research and Grants. They have, I think every year the university is given 1 billion. 1 billion, that's how much in terms of millions? Okay.
1,000 million.
So they give them 1 billion for research, and that money is given to student staff and students. KAB is a very small corporation to consume 1 billion, right? So if there's no student who has proposed he wrote some proposal up to this time, yet that money is there, then that's a service. So if you have good research ideas, you can collaborate with because they can't trust that money with you, because they can't trace it, right? But if you collaborate with a staff member, like a lecturer, right? You write a good proposal, you take it there. They receive the proposal, then they will evaluate it. If it qualifies, of course, they will give you money. At least for that, I'm very sure, because recently I was working in e-learning, but they shifted it to the directorate, so I work on that side. At least I know some ritual that takes place there. So you can write a proposal. It may not go far, may fear to compete with the rest of the world, but here it is internal, right? It is for only staff members and the students. They are the one who qualify for that funding. So at least you're shielded from that external influence. So first understand who is the funding agent, what are they interested in? For example, the university here has that funding, but their interest is on research ideas that can result into a product which you can sell and it impact either the university or the community. It doesn't matter how you're going to implement it, but as long as it is results oriented, not just a descriptive research, but as long as there's a product, maybe a mobile app, a system, blah, blah, blah. As long as it's going to impact the community. From there, you have to review the funding opportunities, because there are some ideas where they will say, this money, we don't allow you to have allowances for research team. We are only giving you equipment. For example, you're seeing this business incubation hub, right? You heard about it. It is here. It is funded by UNDP. They gave them a condition. We only buy the equipment. So we bring them ourselves. You get. So you have to understand what are they offering. what are the terms and the conditions on their money, right? If we give you our 10 millions, what are you supposed to use it for? Some money comes with some string attachment, right? They will tell you, we are giving you this money, but don't buy any equipment. It doesn't cater for transport, so they will give you such conditions. Then from there, identify such areas. This one I put a start because we're going to extract it. I'm going to describe it further. Then next, conduct literature review. Now, literature review, this is where we find the idea. I mean the bug into the research idea. For example, you may come here and say, I'm proposing there's this idea that keeps on rotating around. I want to help students to find hostels, right? Maybe I come up with an app that can help students to find hostels. The question is, currently, how are the students doing it? Are there some solutions? How are they working? How is yours going to be better? How are you going to get money out of this? Now that is literature review. Because the funder, because we have two types of funding, we have, around three. We have a grant. A grant is money which they give you, and you're not refunding it. Then there is CD capital, where someone gives you like 10 millions, they expect that money back, either with some interest or without interest after a specific period of time. So the funder is always interested in the money I'm giving you, how are you going to utilize it effectively? Because they want to see you continuing after that funding. If they give you 10 millions, after 10 millions, what is coming next? Now, for example, in 2019, when we were given 100 millions, of course, we were a team, but I was the head. So I think by 2021, that money was there. Does that mean the solution stops there? So we have to find out how do we continue operating even after the funding has ended. So I have to conduct a literature review, find out what are the opportunities within that particular field. If you're proposing a hostel locating app, how can you make money out of it? If a student finds a room on your app and then they get a phone number and contact the landlord without booking through your app, aren't you losing a business? If you're losing a business, then you find a way of making those people stay. Then from there, you consult experts. There are some people who have done something before in that field. Talk to them. Some people feel like if I disclose this, someone's going to steal my idea. Yes, it's true, people steal ideas. But I know in your circle, have people whom you trust, right? You know very well that this person cannot betray you, right? Well, you collaborate with that person, then evaluate the feasibility. There are some ideas people will propose and they will never come to. Like you look at it and you say, no, we can't achieve this, okay? So find out, is it feasible? Can I achieve this given the money or given the time frame, given the expertise? Okay. Someone will propose that I want to build maybe mobile application that will help to diagnose skin cancer, but that person cannot even write hello in Python. So do you have what it takes to have that solution? Then, of course, align with your expertise, demonstrate innovations and significance. This area, every funder looks for that area. What is the significance of your solution? To what extent is this solution important to the community? Then, of course, draft a proposal. A concept paper. At the end, I will display some proposals that I've written before to show you how you can draft your proposal. Of course, different proposals they have they contain different sections depending on the interest of the funder. Then after that, you seek feedback and revise. Before you submit your proposal to a funder, make sure you share it with someone else to read it through. without briefing them. So when they read through and they understand what you've written, chances are high that the funder will also understand. But if that person doesn't understand, trust me, no one's going to understand. So avoid the things of drafting the proposal at the last moment. The deadline is tomorrow for you to draft it today. You send it with grammatical errors and all that. Of course, it will be turned off for the funder. The funder will just say this person is not serious. They'll just trash your proposal. So always seek feedback and revise your proposal before you proceed. Now, how do you distinguish a researchable idea from an unresearchable idea? Now, if you're writing a grant or if you're putting an innovation exists where there is a problem. Some people, they build solutions for problems which are not existing. They instead create a problem. That's where the issue is. Get. Someone just comes and says, I want to develop a system which can help students to locate lecture rooms. You ask, what is the problem? So they think of a solution before the problem. So you're creating a solution for something that's not existing. So where do we find a problem? A problem exists in between the current situation and the desired situation. So the gap in between there is where the problem lies. For example, if you say you want to assist to develop a hostel locator or an app that can locate hostels, first ask yourself, currently, how are the students locating the hostels? You get, find all the ways. Maybe some people go through blockers, others ask their classmates or people who are already at campus. Some other people, they just spare a day and move around. You get, so find all those possible ways that these people are going through to get a room. Now, identify the pains. What challenges do they face as they are moving from one, as they are looking for that hostel? And then ask yourself, what would be the ideal process that someone would follow when they are locating a room? Now, when you compare the current situation and the desired situation in between, you'll find a solution. I don't know if you get it. So you propose something that bridges that gap from the current situation to the desired situation. For example, before, when was mobile money established in Uganda? When was mobile money established in Uganda? Who can remember? Were you there? Were you born by then? So just imagine before. Okay, let's use an example of emails. Let's take an example of emails. We all know that PO box something. That box number. Initially, we never had things like emails, right? People could ride bicycles. They go to the post office. They put their letter. Then the company will transfer that letter, transport it, put it in the other side, then you come and pick it. So for example, if you were in a cabin and maybe your auntie or relative, whatever, maybe if is dead and maybe they want you to go for a burial, by the time you get the letter, they have even the other person has already, they have even forgot about the death. You guys. But someone found, like, how can we make this communication very fast? Now these days we have the WhatsApp, we have the WhatsApp. So the other solution that would be like, if there is a problem, or maybe if I want to communicate, let it be instant. You get. When WhatsApp had just come, people had issues of deleting messages. Once you send it, you cannot record it, you cannot edit it. Initially, that's how WhatsApp was. But later, it was like the solution would be, if I send a message and I don't want it to, maybe I sent it accidentally, can I record it or can I edit it? Then after doing that, they realized that there was this is that WhatsApp, which they blocked of recent. That one, yeah. The other that some people, they continue to read the messages which have been deleted. Then they were like, what the solution? They have to put it down. You get it? So you compare what is desired and it. So now a good research idea starts with a problem statement. So a problem statement, whether it is for grants, whether it is academic research, it must respond to those questions. The first question is, what is the problem? That question they always ask it, even when presenting your concept papers and proposals, right? They ask, what problem are you solving? So always they start with a problem. Don't propose a solution for something which does not exist. You get it? So, does your problem statement answer what is the problem? For example, the problem, someone can say there is limited access to maybe to hotels or something like that. Or someone can say students incur a lot of expense, or students are exploited by house brokers in finding suitable hostels. That is a problem. Then the next question is, where is that problem? You cannot build a solution for the entire Uganda. That's why they always ask you, what is your case study? Even if you're building an app, for example, for us when we were building our app, we started with one city, that was Marara. And why? Because that's where we are residing in that area. So it was easy for us. We used to walk in those bars, in clubs, in hotels, wherever they do events management. We could walk there physically, we introduce ourselves, we ask them to allow us to host them on our platform, to host their events. Some could allow, others could trash us, but that is life. So, find out where is the problem. Now, this question applies to a geographical location and or to a specific group of individuals, right? So never propose to do a solution that caters the whole of Uganda. You cannot. That's a very big scope. But when we come to business model canvas, we shall see scalability. So you can adjust. For example, if you say, I'll use his example. He has some innovation that he helps people who are disabled to interact with a computer, right? So if you want to start, don't start with the entire company. Just find one, maybe a particular organization that manages people with disabilities, right? Maybe like 100 or 50. You go there, tell them, you know what, I have this solution, I want to pilot it with you. Let us enroll 50 disabled children that you have here. You enroll them. So those, after that organization, then you go to another one. You finish your whole district, like that, like that, like that. You get it. I think by the time we got to know about WhatsApp, it was in existence for some good years, right? We didn't hear about it on the first day it was released. It first struggled down in that particular region. We used WhatsApp, Facebook. Is it Facebook 0? You used it, eh? You're very old. So that's, you saw how that thing was, right? So they were just transforming, right? I think 5 years back, few Ugandans were on Twitter, right? The current X, right? But right now, you go there and see what is happening. Everyone is on. So, start with a smaller scope. Next, how severe is the problem? Not every problem is worth solving. Some problems we can coexist. We can stay with them. For example, it is normal to miss lunch. Right? It's a problem, but it's normal. You get it? Everyone would wish, maybe when trains, they just maybe have a ride from the house to the car and drive to class. But it is a problem. But it rains, you comfortably walk, right? because it is normal, right? So not every problem is worth solving. For example, you will propose a hostel locating mobile application. The question is, Kabbalah University is a rural-based university, right? What population? Okay, there is a particular number of students who come from home, right? They stay with their parents, right? So if you're proposing that, which students are you targeting? You're targeting students who come from far. You get. You cannot target a student who comes from Rwanda, right? Chances are high the parent knows someone who has a house in Kabbalah. They will just make a phone call. My daughter is coming to Kabbalah University. Do you have a room there? Yes. So that's not your client, right? Your client are those people from far. Then ask yourself, how many students am I going to serve? If you find that in a semester you can't serve 1,000 students, then there's no business. That means this problem is very small. It's not worth solving. So quantify. Now at this point of how severe is the problem, we bring in statistics. For example, if he's proposing something to do with the, assisting disabled students, or disabled people to use a computer, he can give us statistics that maybe 10% of the Uganda's population, they are disabled. And if you calculate 20%, it's a million plus, right? Because we're around 40 something, right? That is a very big number. Then you will say out of these 10, we realize that only 2% they have opportunities to interact with a computer. That means 88% is neglected of that 10, right? So you have to bring some statistics. If you're diagnosing skin cancer, if you're proposing some application which someone will put, okay, let me use an example which I'm familiar with. It's where I've done some research, is the sickle cells. We realize that out of 10 couples that get married on a daily basis, only 2 go for sickle cell screening, right? And you know that if you're sickle cell carrier and your wife is a sickle cell carrier, chances are high you will produce children with sickle cells. So out of 10, only 2 go for screening. That means 80% of people who get married, they don't mind about to go for that medical screening to find out whether they are compatible, right? So now from there I go and ask myself, how many children are born with sickle cell annually in Uganda? And I found out there are around 2,000 children per year. Of these 2,000, how many die before reaching 18 years? So you see, you break it down. So you bring the magnitude of the problem, so that when the person reads the funder, when they read that problem statement, they feel the pain. It is touchy, you get. It has some statistics. It means you have done research and you know what you're solving. If you're locating hostel, you say Kabbalah University has around 6,000 students. Of the 6,000, 4,000 they come from far and they reside in hostels. You get. Then you say out of this, so you try to break it down in that statistics to make sure that someone knows the magnitude of the problem. Then from there, who says this one we don't write it? It's about providing evidence. In research, any statement, if you don't have evidence, we say that is propaganda or it is rumor. It's like they say it. Who? So here we expect you to do what you call citations. You put references. If you say that Kabbalah University admits 6,000 students per academic year, quote a report where I got that. And that report, or that whatever, it should be accessible. Someone should go online and find out what you're actually talking about. That is who says. There's not someone who will give you their money based on allegations. They want to evidence that what you're saying is actually true. Next, this is where the business comes from. Who else has tried to solve this problem, and why have they failed? People who have tried to write proposals, there's somewhere where they ask you, is this a new idea or they are existing solutions? If you say yes, then they'll ask you, how different is your solution? So you have to justify why are the current solutions have failed to address that problem. If they have failed, how do you intend to bridge that gap? Actually, that section it justifies how you're going to get clients. Because the more clients you have, the more money you earn. You get. If you propose a solution that works like a mobile money, then for you say, okay, on transactions, like try to show what is that loophole within mobile money or MTN or Airtel that you want to close. It brings out the value proposition that makes your solution standing or outstanding among other solutions. We have so many social media platforms. We have WhatsApp, Facebook, we have Twitter, we have even TikTok is social media. We have TikTok, we have so many. But realize that majority of people on social media, majority of them are on WhatsApp, right? Okay, some people have Facebook accounts, but someone can spend a month without opening it, right? But it is very hard for someone to spend a day without opening their WhatsApp. Some people are even active at 3 a.m., right? You get. Some people, they treat their WhatsApp as if they are like working in call centers for telecom companies. Then ask yourself, why that majority of people are using that WhatsApp than Twitter, X or any other platform? That means there is a value, there is a unique component. They are all communicating platforms, right? We even have text messages. It's also, there's that you can chat on text message, right? Especially in high school, it's very common among secondary students, right? Because for it, you can even use this customer phone. So, it brings out. Then next, why should we care? If this problem is not solved, what will happen? Okay? So, this one, it tells the urgency of a solution. For example, if we says that he wants to help disabled people to use computers, if they don't use computers, so what? Will Uganda end today? What is most likely to happen? Then you can say, okay, if 1 million Ugandans are denied the chance to utilize the computers, right? That means in the next 5 years, we shall have 5 million Ugandans, right? Who cannot operate a computer, right? And these people, they are talented differently. They have different potentials which they have different ways they can serve the country. But because they are unable to operate a computer, so the country is most likely to lose a certain percentage of the potential, maybe job creators or whatever. So you find a way of packaging your whatever. That if this problem is not addressed, we are most likely to see ABCD. I'll use an example here. Before they put those security rights from here to that cover the Kasuna Road. I think first years they are not aware, but those who were there before, you know how it used to be dark, right? And at least on a daily basis, they could attack people, right? Between here and there, right? People could lose. Even these days they do, but at least the rate has what? So someone asks you, if this problem is not addressed, if they are not put the security rights, what will happen? You get. So any solution, any proposal that you write, you have to show us. For example, they say every day we lose 17 children as a result of during birth, right? So this question is, if you don't find a solution, what is going to happen? Maybe the number will increase to 25, right? But still, at this point, you have to base your argument on written evidence that maybe, according to the report by Minister of this, if this problem is not addressed, we are most likely to have ABCD by their 2020 something, right? For example, there is Vision 2040. You heard about it, right? And one of the items there is the e-government services, where everything is provided online. So the question is, if they want by 2040, when every Ugandan can access electronic, e-services, if these disabled people are not given an opportunity to operate computers, will the government achieve that? The answer is what? It's no. So that can be that if we don't help these disabled people to operate a computer, the government will not achieve its industrial version 4.0 section this, which talks about rolling out e-government services across all its sectors. So that can be a very strong argument. Then lastly, what are you proposing? Yes, you have told us the problem is there. We have seen it is very severe. We have seen some people have tried to address it, but it has not been solved. You've told us that if this is not solved, we are most likely to have whatever. Then, what are you telling us? Now, the father is going to base on this to give you money. Some solutions are actually worse than the current one. You might propose a solution which is going to do things, which is going to make the situation worse. You get? So, at this point, show us, how is your solution going to be unique? What makes it unique? Give us the confidence that the solution is actually going to be better than what we have, and it's going to attract more customers than the existing solutions. So the person who's giving you money is sure that if I give money to this person, their solution will survive even after the end of the funding. If it is city capital, they will have some assurance that at least our money will come back. Because no one invests where they're not going to get interest, right? If you have your 2 million after campus and someone tells you, you invest it here, but chances of getting it back is like 1%, and you put it there. Of course, no, right? Because you also want it. So, if you have answered these questions, we have answered the question of what makes a research idea researchable. So if you don't address those questions, you might find it hard to convince whether it is an academic research, like what these people are doing in the third years, or what second years. I think very soon they're going to ask you for proposals. Whether it is a funding research proposal, you have to attend to those questions. Now from there, after writing your proposal, most funders, they focus on this business model. The fact that you're not a charitable organization, they expect you to earn money from your idea, or you must have an output which is going to contribute to the development of a country or a society or something like that. So the question is, how do you make money? How are you going to make money from this idea? They asked me that question when I was pitching at the Ministry of ICT. A few things, but later I realized that none of those could earn me money. Because at first we said that, okay, it's every event posted, they give us 10,000. On average, a day we get like 5 events, that is 50,000. Can they pay a server? They cannot, right? 50,000, you have 3 workers, you have an office attendant, you have a software developer who is in back end, you have someone who is, so you find that the 50,000, you actually operating and are in a deficit. So we have to find out how can we bring, that's why some apps have ads for people who are on X, those people who have a big following. When you post something, that Elon Musk guy puts in some adverts in the comment section, right? You've seen those things, right? That is money. So it's a revenue stream. So people will always want to see how are you going to earn money. So a business model is just a conceptual framework that describes the rationale of how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. So here we look at the product or service, the target customers, the revenue sources, the cost structures, the strategy. People who did the is it the economics? There's something called the SWOT analysis. Have you heard about it? So it brings out this competitive advantage. How are you better than your competitors? So to do this, we use what we call a business model canvas. I think you have seen this before, right? Many people have seen this, right? So a business model canvas looks like that. It has 9 blocks, and it summarizes everything of your. Looks like that. It has 9 blocks, and it summarizes everything of your proposal that will, any grant proposal that will never fail to ask a business model. It's always there. They will always ask the business model. Some people call it, they will call it business sustainability. Because if you're not making money, your business you can't sustain the business, okay? So they want to know your business model, and it has 9 blocks. The 9 blocks include key partners, key activities, value proposition, customer relationship, customer segments, key resources, channels, cost structure, and revenue streams. So we're going to quickly go through each section. I never want us to stay here for long. I think by 4. Let's start with key partners. Of course, doing an innovation is not one man's army. It's not a one man's show, right? You need partners. Every idea has partners. Now, for example, I'll give you my example. For us in that application of ours, we have partners. Among them, we have MCs. Because in most cases, MCs, they know where the events are. They're the one who manages the whatever. They're the one who entertain, right? So they be having so many links to different events. For example, they can hire an MC. The common one we use where we started from, that was in Bara. There's this guy called MC Kacheche. I don't know if you know him, those who come from that side. You have heard about that guy. So that guy can be hired to go and when there's the MC of maybe for any event in Chisoro, right? So this guy will tell them that, you know what, we have this platform. Let's have the event, post it so that you can pull crowd and also people buy tickets. So that's because me, I can't go there. You get it? I don't know the language to speak, but for him, he knows. So every innovation has partners. For example, if you have your innovation, you're dealing with disabled people. We have so many organizations that manage issues of disabled people, right? Those are key partners. Because if someone tells you to move around the car to get 20 disabled people, you may fail to get them. Because they also cannot even leave home, they're always at home, right? But if you go to such an organization, in just 5 minutes, they will bring you a food truck. Because for them, they know where they stay. For you, you don't know. So, who are your key partners? Some innovations requires government partnership. For example, you may have a solution when it might compromise the security of the country if you don't involve the government, right? If you want to do any business that do with transactions, You cannot develop your own API to take Europe. You have to go to MTN and what? And Airtel. They become partners. That means for every transaction. Have you heard about these online money lending companies? You've not heard about them. Eh? That means you have money, you don't borrow. They are this is whatever, more cash, what you heard about them. They give you 20,000, they expect 50,000 back. So as you're transferring money, MTN chops. They also chop. That means there is a collaboration between telecom companies and what? So that is a partnership. So identify who are your key partners. Actually, someone who can give you money depending on your key partners. Just imagine if you take your proposal when your organization has signed it for you. When you have the signature for the permanent secretary, Minister of ICT, he has endorsed it. Do you think they will fail to give you money? Because for us, okay, some grants. Of recently, there's a grant that we won here. It was in e-learning, and they were around 40 millions. But we submitted the proposal. They told us we can't give you money unless you involve the university. So we had to recall the proposal. We went to the vice chancellor. She wrote a letter, put a stamp and a signature. In the next 4 days, they asked us for their bank account details. So you see the magnitude of partnership. So they will have trust that if this money goes to the university is a very big institution. They cannot take away the 40 millions because they handle billions of money. So someone can give you money based on the partnership you have. So you have to establish partnership. There's not any innovation which will ever fail to have a partnership. If you have your idea and you feel like you cannot make it alone, you go to the university. There is a policy that dictates what percentage you take as the researcher and the university. Of course, it's a win-win situation, right? You don't expect a partnership from someone who's going to benefit, right? It's always benefit. I think it's in everything, even in relationships, right? Philip will give you his 10K, he expects something, right? So, what are the motivations for partnership? Optimization and economy. Here, you might reach many customers through partnership, okay? Reduction of risks and uncertainties. So if you have a partnership with some big companies, you're sure that at least at some point I'll get grants, so it will reduce the expenses. Next, key activities. Key activities are those things you're supposed to do for your innovation to come to life. For example, coding or programming, if you're doing a mobile app-based system, it is a key activity. So, what key activities do your value proposition require? What are the key activities you need for distribution channels? For example, you can design a few weeks, there's someone who gave me some business to design an app that can link. I think this is a bad example. Let me not use it. Which example can I use? Okay, let me use it. I have an option. Someone was telling me, I was in Barra. Someone told me, you know what, these days in Barra, how can I say this? Okay, someone told me that, you know what, there are some big men who have their money and they don't feel like going to the streets to get ladies, right? So he was like, me, I'm giving you money. You develop the app, right? Someone just want to be in their house and they make an order, right? Like, you know, you can order Ferrorex, right? But the question is, if you had that app, how are you going to market it? Whose daughter are you going to go to and tell them I have this app? But there are people who can. Now, someone told me, no, me, I have my boda guys. I have boda guys who are going to distribute the what? The app. Because they always deal with these people to get them. You get? So, what key activities are you going to do for your distribution channels? Now we have to find the border guys. So you have to go and hunt for them. That is an activity. So you have to find all the key activities. Okay? And the categories of activities include production, having the solution built, problem solving, okay, platform stock network, configuring servers, doing the daily monitoring, reviewing statistics of the performance of the solution, etc. Now, key resources, these are the items or things you need to have the innovation working. And now this includes the physical, intellectual, human, and financial resources. Not every solution starts with the money. I think that's where majority of the people are getting issues. For example, the application that gave us 100 millions, we developed it in 2017. We were doing mobile application development. Computer science people know it. They studied that course, unlike IT here. So we had a group that we initiated with our lecturer. It was called Android Soft Tech, and I was the president. So we gave ourselves a task that we had like 5 groups, each group to develop an app which can do something. So one of the groups that developed that app, when we sat down and we did an assessment, we found that that app was actually the best among all innovations. So by the time we went to ask for money, that app was on Play Store. We didn't invest any coin apart from the 10 US dollars that Google Play Store charges, right? That was around 250,000. By then the dollar was 2,500. How do we develop the app? We use the laptops and the knowledge obtained from grant. So not all solutions they will start with money. Someone will give you money after seeing something. You get? But the problem with us, we first flash and look what, and when we get money, we get super excited and what, and lose track. So there are some innovations you need physical. There are some innovations which you will need physical locations. For example, if you're doing a business, maybe you're going to add value maybe to Irish potatoes. By all means, you need a physical location, right? Where to put the sacks of the what? But there are some innovations which don't need physical. For example, if I'm running an online store, do I need to go and have the phones in my store? I just take photos and upload, right? When you order for one, I rush to the shop and pick, right? I deliver, you give me money, I want to pay the supplier, right? So I don't need a physical location. So intellectual property. So we have the brand, patents, copyright, etc. I think you know these things, right? Then from there we have the cost structures. Now the cost structures are formed by key activities. So the costs, someone will ask you, if you pitch an idea, someone will ask you how much money do you need to have this solution implemented. Some people exaggerate. You find someone proposing a mobile application and asking for 300 million to do what? Someone will say, this person is just money sick, right? Maybe he has his family problems. They want to eradicate poverty in their family, not a solution. So they will not give you money. So make sure that your cost structures, they make sense. You align them to only necessary things you need to have the solution in. Right? So for example, you can say, I need 10 millions, but if someone gives me 5 millions, I can kickstart and operate. Then the other money will come later. Someone may say, okay, I don't want cash, but my problem, I don't have internet. If someone can do for me a monthly subscription for 10 months, I use the internet to develop my system. You see, someone will say that this person is not interested in money at the beginning, but they want to have their solutions too. So you have to align your cost structure to what you need. Don't exaggerate. For example, the proposal we sent here to there's another proposal to send here. I think They are finding it very soon. We are going to put the landslide alert detection systems in Bududa. At first, we set it with 300 millions. The university said, who can give me 300 millions? So we had to cut the budget to around 90, if not 80. Then they were like, okay, we can give you this one. So don't exaggerate the budget. You make the budget in line with what you're going to do. There was some pitching that happened in the innovation hub. Some people came, they wanted 400 millions. And what they were proposing, anyway, let's proceed. So, value proposition. What are you going to deliver to the customers? Is it worth? Some solutions, there are some apps you ever open and you uninstall it immediately. Have you experienced such? You install it, that very day you uninstall it. Actually, not that very day, that very minute. That means there is no value. Okay, there's no value. So, what value? The value proposition is only visible if your solution addresses the problem. So if your solution doesn't have any value, no one's going to give you money. Because if you bring a product which is, there's an app called, I don't know if you saw that system, it was called Socialize Africa. I don't know if you heard about it. It works like Facebook. Some people brought it to put Facebook down, but it didn't last for not even whatever. Because someone would look at it, it was a clone of Facebook. There was no any whatever advantage of someone using the other. So ask yourself, which customer needs are we satisfying? So if you're not satisfying customer needs, then there is no value in your solution. So features of a value proposition, is it new? Is it in a performance? Okay, or it is customization. Like someone, you give them a product and they customize it, right? For example, we have AIMS, you know it, right? AIMS runs all public universities, right? I think apart from Makerere. I don't think Makerere uses it.